Krishna devotees, welcome you all for today's class. We'll start with the prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll continue from where we have stopped in our last class. So we are going to the introduction section, which has almost come to end. I think probably in today's class or maybe one more class, we'll be completing the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, which is like the entire summary of the Bhagavad Gita given in a small section where we get to know good portion of what is given in the Bhagavad Gita. After that, we'll go shloka by shloka, starting from chapter 1 up to the chapter 18, entire Bhagavad Gita, along with translation and also purport. We'll be continuing once we are done with the introduction part. So today we will continue from where we have left in our previous session. So here the discussion is about the spiritual world. In the last few pages, what we have seen. Elsewhere in the Gita, it is stated, Avyaktokshara ityuktas tamahu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Avyakta means unmanifested. Not even all of the material world is manifested before us. Our senses are so imperfect that we cannot even see all of the stars within this material universe. In Vedic literature, we can receive much information about all the planets. Okay, this we have completed. Anybody remembers till where it was in the last class? Okay, I think it's correct till here we have completed. All of the important planets are described in Vedic literature, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. And the spiritual world, which is beyond this material sky, is described as avyakta, unmanifested. One should desire and hanker after that supreme kingdom. For when one attains that kingdom, he does not have to return to this material world. So we have discussed in the previous class about avyakta, which is not manifest in front of our eyes, but it exists. So the supreme abode of Krishna is called avyakta, which is not visible to our eyes, and it is akshara, which is indestructible, and that is the paramam gatim, that is the ultimate destination. Yam prapya nanivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So Krishna is telling that dhama, that place of mine is paramam, it is the supreme, and anyone who comes there, yam prapya na nivartante, he doesn't have to return from that place again. Next, one may raise the question of how one goes about approaching that abode of the Supreme Lord. So the next thing, so we know that there is a supreme abode of Krishna, going where there is no return. Now the question will be how one can reach that place. Information of this is given in the 8th chapter. It is said there. So in the 8th chapter, Krishna also describes how one can come to his place. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati sa madbhavam yati nasti atra samshayaha. Antakale, at the time of death, mameva smaran, remembering me, muktva kalevaram, if he gives up his body, yah prayati sa madbhavam yati. So one who lives in such a way, thinking of Krishna, remembering Krishna, sa madbhavam yati, he attains my nature. Na asti atra samshayaha, there is no doubt in this. Anyone who quits his body at the end of life, remembering me, attains immediately to my nature, and there is no doubt of this. from the Bhagvadgita, 8th chapter, 5th shloka. One who thinks of Krishna at the time of his death goes to Krishna. One must remember the form of Krishna. If he quits his body thinking of this form, he approaches the spiritual kingdom. Madbhavam refers to the supreme nature of the supreme being. The supreme being is Satchidananda Vigraha, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Our present body is not Satchidananda. It is Asat, that is not Sat. It is not eternal. It is imperishable. It is not Chit or full of knowledge, but it is full of ignorance. We have no knowledge of the spiritual kingdom, nor do we even have perfect knowledge of this material world, where there are so many things unknown to us. The body is also Nirananda. Instead of being full of bliss, it is full of misery. All of the miseries we experience in the material world arise from the body. But one who leaves this body thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead at once attains a Satchidananda body, as is promised in this 5th verse of 8th chapter, where Lord Krishna says he attains my nature. So Madbhavam Yati means he attains my nature. So what is Krishna's nature? Krishna's nature is his Satchidananda Vigraha. He is the embodiment of eternity, knowledge and bliss. So that is Krishna's body made of. Just like our body is made of Panchabhutas, earth, water, fire, air, ether. It is made of these elements and it gets destroyed. But Krishna's body is not made of material elements. His body is completely spiritual and it is composed of these three qualities, which is eternity and bliss and knowledge. And anybody who at the time of quitting his body thinks of Krishna, then he also attains the same body like Krishna. The process of quitting this body and getting another body in the material world is also organized. A man dies after it has been decided what form of body he will have in the next life. Higher authorities, not the living entity himself, make this decision. According to our activities in this life, we either rise or sink. This life is a preparation for the next life. If we can prepare, therefore, in this life to get promotion to the kingdom of God, then surely after quitting this material body, we will attain a spiritual body just like the Lord. So this formula of whatever state of being we think at the time of death, we get that kind of body. That is also described in Bhagavad Gita. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्यजति ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. So if you think of Krishna and leave this body, then we get a body similar to Krishna's. And if you have attachment to so many other things, and if our consciousness is absorbed in those thoughts, then we get that kind of body. And what kind of thinking will come at the time of death? That is also decided by how we have acted in our life. What is our karma? What kind of karma I have created? And accordingly, suppose I am supposed to get a body in the heavenly planets, then I will get birth in the heavenly planets. Suppose I have to go to hellish planets, then I will take birth in the hellish planets. If I have to take birth in animal body or bird's body or any other species, then accordingly I will get the body. The soul is same, but only the outer covering that goes on changing. Sometimes human body, sometimes animal body, like that. And within that again, so many varieties. So 84 lakh types of bodies the soul can get within this material world. And that is decided by higher authorities. I cannot choose. I will live the way I want. Next, I will say I want to become Indra in the heaven. So that is not possible. So that is decided based on our actions, how we have lived in this life, what kind of actions we have performed. So higher authorities, they decide what kind of body I will get in my next life. But I can make a choice while living. While I'm living, I can decide what kind of body I want to get. Then I can perform my actions with that goal. So that Vedas and all describe, if you have to go to heavenly planets, you perform this sacrifice or this kind of karma kanda you do, then you get birth in the heavenly planets, like that. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is describing, if you want, anywhere you go, again you have to return. But if you come to my place, you get an eternal body just like me, Mad Bhavam Yati. And for that, you have to think of me at the time of death. And therefore, in this chapter only, Krishna says, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yuddhacha. Therefore, you always think of me. If you are always thinking of me, then automatically at the time of death also you will think of me. So that was the instruction given to Arjuna by Krishna, that how he has to maintain his consciousness, that he should be always thinking of Krishna. As explained before, there are different kinds of transcendentalists, the Brahmavadi, Paramatmavadi, and the devotee. And as mentioned, in the Brahma Jyoti, spiritual sky, there are innumerable spiritual planets. The number of these planets is far, far greater than all of the planets of this material world. This material world has been approximated as only 1/4 of the creation. In this material segment, there are millions and billions of universes with trillions of planets and suns, stars and moons. But this whole material creation is only a fragment of the total creation. Most of the creation is in the spiritual sky. One who desires to merge into the existence of the Supreme Brahman is at once transferred to the Brahma Jyoti of the Supreme Lord and thus attains the spiritual sky. The devotee who wants to enjoy the association of the Lord enters into the Vaikuntha planets, which are innumerable, and the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansions as Narayana, with 4 hands and with different names like Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Govinda, etc., associates with him there. Therefore, at the end of life, the transcendentalists either think of the Brahmajyoti, the Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. In all cases, they enter into the spiritual sky, but only the devotee or he who is in personal touch with the Supreme Lord enters into the Vaikuntha planets. The Lord further adds that of this there is no doubt. This must be believed firmly. We should not reject that which does not tally with our imagination. Our attitude should be that of Arjuna. I believe everything that you have said. Therefore, when the Lord says that at the time of death, whoever thinks of him as Brahman or Paramatma or the personality of Godhead certainly enters into the spiritual sky. There is no doubt about it. There is no question of disbelieving it. So here, important thing what we have to note is, when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, when we are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. How he understood Bhagavad Gita. That is the standard of reading Bhagavad Gita. Because he was the first student 5000 years ago, where Krishna made him his student, and he told why he made also. We see in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hi etad uttamam. So I am telling you this supreme secret. Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. Why I am telling you? Because you are my bhakta and sakha. You are my devotee and you are my friend. And one more place also Krishna says, because you are not envious of me, therefore I am telling you this secret. So the qualification for understanding Bhagavad Gita is that one should not be envious of Krishna, and one should be a devotee of Krishna and having a relationship with Krishna. So these are the qualifications for understanding Bhagavad Gita. And how Arjuna understood Bhagavad Gita, that is also described by Arjuna himself after he heard, I think, around 10 chapters. After 10 chapters, uh, Arjuna says, Sarvam etad ritam manya yanmam vadasi Keshava. So whatever you have told me, everything I believe to be truth. Sarvam, not that this portion I like, therefore I will accept. This somehow I have a doubt, therefore I will not accept. So Arjuna's way of understanding Bhagavad Gita was, whatever Krishna has told, everything I accept as truth, I accept as reality. Then we will get the full benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we will be licking Bhagavad Gita only from the outside bottle. Prabhupada's spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives the example of honey bottle, packed seal is there, and we want to taste honey, but we are licking from outside. Then we will not get the sweet taste of the honey. If you have to taste the honey, you have to open the bottle and then taste it. So the same way, if I have to get the benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita, then I should accept it as it is. Whatever is told, uh, full in toto, 100% we should accept. Then only we can get the benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita. So here, when Krishna is telling that you come to my place, there should be no doubt. And Krishna is reassuring that there is no doubt about it. So when Krishna is telling, Arjuna is accepting, and we are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should also not have any doubt what Krishna is telling. It is a matter of realizing the things. Right now, we may not be in that stage where we can practically realize these things. But as we go on performing devotional service, we can get higher and higher realizations of Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. All these realizations are possible for a devotee who is sincerely and seriously practicing Krishna consciousness. And here it is also said that this material universe, this itself, we don't have a full information. We get to see only a few things in the sky. And that too, for us, it all appears like small dots. All these planets and stars, whatever is there, they just look like small dots only. But they are so big, bigger than what our Earth is. And we also don't see the whole existence. We can see only limited things for a limited time. Only night time we can see what is there around us in the sky. And this whole creation itself is material creation is just one universe, one Brahmanda. So like that, there is a description of many, many universes. And nowadays, even scientists are talking about multiverses. Even scientists are, based on some mathematical model, they are saying that there is a possibility that there are many universes, which is already told in the scriptures, that there are many, many Brahmandas. Now, all that put together also, this material world is just one-fourth the creation of Lord. Ekapada Vibhuti it is called. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, in the 10th chapter we will see opulence of the absolute. That it is just a fragment of you know my splendor, just one fragment of my splendor. So the three-fourth existence is there in the spiritual sky, the spiritual world. So we can imagine in the material world only, it is so unlimited space, unlimited planets are there in one Brahmanda only. So like that, there are unlimited Brahmandas are there. So that is just one-fourth. So three-fourth is the spiritual world. Then how many spiritual planets, how many living entities are there? So that shows that how great Krishna is. So it is so inconceivable. So God means he's no comparison. What we are and what God is, no comparison. We can get some tiny idea that I can also create, God can also create. Just like human beings, they have created so many satellites in the sky. They have sent so many thousands of satellites are roaming. They are all created by human beings. So they have figured out some laws of nature, which is again created by Krishna only. And a tiny human being is able to create one space station which is revolving around the Earth. So many satellites. They have even sent some satellites and all to the moon, to the Mars and all. So a human being can create tiny things like this. Then we can imagine what will be the capacity of God. So he is making the whole planets float in the sky. Not only one planet, millions of stars, millions of planets, millions of suns which are floating in the sky by the power of Krishna. So by studying ourselves, we can understand what is God's capacity. So three-fourth is the spiritual sky. And in the spiritual sky also, the effulgence of the sky is called the Brahma Jyoti, which is the bodily effulgence of Krishna. Then Paramatma is Krishna, who is present everywhere in heart of everybody. And Bhagavan is the personal form of Krishna. So three kinds of transcendentalists, Brahmavadis, Paramatmavadis, or devotees. At the time of death, Brahmavadis may think of that inconceivable, impersonal Brahman, and they merge in that Brahma Jyoti. Paramatmavadis also, if they surrender to Krishna, they become devotees, and they can also enter the spiritual planets. Otherwise, they also merge in the Brahma Jyoti or within the body of Krishna. And those who are devotees, they don't want to lose their identity because there is only feeling of Sat only. Chit and Ananda is not there. In Brahman and in Paramatma, Sat and Chit is there, but Ananda portion is not there. But in devotee case, Bhakti yogis, they realize Sat, Chit and Ananda, all three portions of their existence, they realize. And they enter the spiritual planets. Others, they just remain in the spiritual sky as the sparks. of Brahman. Others, they enter spiritual sky, and based on the relationship with Krishna, they get a spiritual body, which is already there. It develops in the spiritual world, and they live an eternal life in that relationship with Krishna. The information on how to think of the Supreme Being at the time of death is also given in the Gita. So here it was said that one should think of Krishna, and how to think, that is also given in the Bhagavad-gita. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्यजति ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitah. In whatever condition one quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state of being without fail. Material nature is a display of one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. In the Vishnu Purana, the total energies of the Supreme Lord as Vishnu Shakti, Paraprokta, etc. are delineated. The Supreme Lord has diverse or innumerable energies which are beyond our conception. However, great learned sages or liberated souls have studied these energies and have analyzed them into three parts. All of the energies are of Vishnu Shakti. That is to say, they are different potencies of Lord Vishnu. That energy is para or transcendental. Living entities also belong to the superior energy, as has already been explained. The other energies or material energies are in the mode of ignorance. At the time of death, we can either remain in the inferior energy of this material world, or we can transfer to the energy of the spiritual world. So the living entity, the Jivatma, or the souls which are now at present, the conditioned souls, the liberated souls, they are there in the spiritual world. But the conditioned souls who are there in the material world, so they are merged into this material energy. And they have got one particular body. The soul is inside the body, and they have got this external body which is developed according to their karma in the past lives. They have got this particular body, and it is undergoing the transformation also according to Kala and Karma. The body is undergoing different transformation, and they're experiencing different kinds of happiness, different kinds of miseries. The soul is experiencing within this material body. So it is there in this matter. The soul which is spiritual, which is para prakriti or the superior energy, is now covered by this inferior energy made of this material energy. At the time of death, they have got an option, or they have got an opportunity. They can escape from this material covering and go to the spiritual world and live a free life. So here it is a conditioned life. Lot of conditions, lot of things which the living entity cannot do, although it has got the potential. Death is the transition state, from where either it can again remain in this same material energy only, a different covering, or it can become free and go back to the spiritual world. So that opportunity is there at the time of death, but one cannot just decide it at the time of death that suddenly I want to go back to spiritual world. So for that, the whole life, it requires practice. If you maintain our Krishna consciousness throughout the life, then at the time of death, we can remember Krishna. And if you have done devotional service throughout our life, even if at the time of death, if the situation of our bodily functioning is not so good, and if you are not able to remember Krishna, in one place, in one Purana, I think Padma Purana or somewhere, it is said that even if the devotee is not able to remember Krishna at the time of death because of whatever conditions will be there at the time of death, the one who has rendered devotional service to Krishna, Krishna remembers and comes and takes him back to the spiritual world. So it becomes a personal relationship with Krishna and not dependent on our own endeavors. And the devotee also doesn't think that I can go back to the spiritual world because of my abilities, my capacities. I have done this much devotional service, therefore I should go back to the spiritual world. So devotee also doesn't think like that. He surrendered to Krishna, and whatever Krishna decides at the time of death, either this world or spiritual world, but I should be engaged in devotional service. So that is the only aspiration of the devotee. In life, we are accustomed to thinking either of the material or the spiritual energy. There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with the material energy, newspapers, novels, etc. Our thinking, which is now absorbed in these literatures, must be transferred to the Vedic literatures. The great sages therefore have written so many Vedic literatures, such as the Puranas, etc. The Puranas are not imaginative, they are historical records. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is the following verse: Maya Mugdha Jeever Nahi Swatah Krishna Jnan, Jeever Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Puran. The forgetful living entities or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord, and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. Just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky, Krishna has given a great number of Vedic literatures. First, he divided the Vedas into four. Then he explained them in the Puranas, and for less capable people, he wrote the Mahabharata. In the Mahabharata, there is given the Bhagavad Gita. Then all Vedic literature is summarized in the Vedanta Sutra. And for future guidance, he gave a natural commentation on the Vedanta Sutra called Srimad Bhagavatam. We must always engage our minds in reading these Vedic literatures. Just as materialists engage their minds in reading newspapers, magazines, and so many material literatures, we must transfer our reading to these literatures which are given to us by Vyasadeva. In that way, it will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. That is the only way suggested by the Lord, and He guarantees the result. There is no doubt. So, what is the reason Krishna has given us this Vedic literature that is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita? That Maya Mugdha Jeever Nahi Swatah Krishna Jnan. So, on our own strength, we cannot revive our lost relationship with Krishna. So suddenly, I will remember one day that I am eternal servant of Krishna and I will start performing devotional service. So that is not possible because we are in the clutches of Maya. Maya Mugdha Jeever Nahi Swatah Krishna Jnan. Jeever Kripaya Kaila Krishna Veda Puran. So, out of compassion for the living entities who are there in this material world, Krishna has given this Veda and Purana. So that is the purpose of creating Veda Purana. And one more thing we should understand, that without these Vedic literatures, there is no way we can understand who is God, what is the purpose of life, what is spiritual world, what is this material world, why we are here, what is the purpose of life. All these things, without going through the Vedas or the Vedic literature, as it is described here, the four Vedas, and then the Puranas, then for the less intelligent, Mahabharata was compiled, and within Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita is there. So, because generally Vedas only Brahmanas used to read, only they had access to reading Vedas, but the Puranas anybody can read. And Mahabharata, because there is politics, there is diplomacy, generally people are interested in these kind of things. So what is going on there, what is happening there. So Mahabharata, all those things are already there. Politics is there, diplomacy is there, everything is there. But because there is Krishna, Krishna's pastimes are there in the Mahabharata, so people will come to know about Krishna reading this no politics and other things, war. And within that, there is the supreme instruction of Krishna, which is Bhagavad Gita within the Mahabharata. So even people who are not so much interested in spirituality also, if they just reading Mahabharata for some politics, some war, when they read, they will come to know the ultimate instruction of Krishna in the form of Bhagavad Gita. And again, Puranas, they all talk about ultimately getting liberation. So Puranas are generally divided into, I think, 10 or 12 parts, something like that, where moksha, ultimately, they all talk about moksha, liberation. And for those who are more philosophically inclined, so for them, there is Vedanta is there, Upanishads are there, which are called as a Vedanta. Then there is a Vedanta Sutra is there, even more advanced, where just there are simple aphorisms, simple formulas kind of thing, which give the complete essence of the whole knowledge. Just like Athato Brahma Jignasa, one of the shlokas, which says that now you should inquire about absolute truth. So this now means for the human beings. You have passed through so many forms. Now you have got the human form of life. So now this is the time to inquire what is absolute truth? Who am I? Who is God? What is the purpose of life? So like that, there are sutras in Vedanta Sutras. So all this Vedic literature and the Vedanta Sutras, which are like short codes, they are explained by Vyasadeva himself in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like one of the sutras is Janmadhyasya Ataha, means Janma Adi Yasya Yatah. The Supreme Absolute Truth is one from which everything else is emanating. The creation, sustenance, and destruction, everything is happening by that Supreme Absolute Truth. So that is one of the shlokas or sutras of Vedanta. And the commentary of all these sutras is Srimad Bhagavatam. Means explanation of this sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam begins with this sutra only, Janmadhyasya Yatah. So that is the sutra. Here it is explained. Who is that Janmadhyasya Yatah? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudeva begins like that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadhyasya Yatah Anvayad Itaratascha Teshu Abhigna Swarat. So there is a whole shloka which describes who is that Paramasatya, who is that absolute truth. And that is Vasudeva or that is Krishna. So, just a moment, the battery is running low. So this entire Vedic literature, out of compassion, Krishna has created for the living entities so that they can revive their relationship with Krishna. And generally, our thoughts are either absorbed in material energy or spiritual energy. So material energy means newspapers, novels, magazines, and nowadays social media, so many reels or some videos, YouTube videos, some podcasts, this, that, and all. So all this, where our consciousness gets connected when we read these things or watch these things which are not connected with Krishna, it is all there in the material energy only. So our consciousness gets absorbed in material energy, and whatever we take input through our consciousness, then same thoughts will keep running in our mind. So it goes into the subconscious mind also and the active mind also. Active mind, it will be there for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. After that, we may forget. And again, I will see something else, and that will be there in my mind for 2, 3 days. Again, I'll see something. Again, that will be there. But in the subconsciousness, it has gone and is sitting, and it will come out again at different times in terms of our different, kama, krodha, lobha. In that way, it will keep coming out. So whatever we feed inside, that only will come out. Already, so much is there from our past lives that is coming out on its own. And if you go on feeding new contamination, new dirty things, not connected with Krishna, again the same thing will again become more solid, and the same cycle will continue. In this material energy will be stuck in this material energy only. The soul will never be able to come out of this material energy. So if we have to come out of this material energy, then our consciousness, our energy, we should direct towards spiritual. Our consciousness, our thinking, we have to direct into the spiritual energy. And where is that spiritual energy? That is there in these things. Krishna's name, chanting. When we are chanting, if we are doing with attention, then our consciousness is fully absorbed into the spiritual energy. And if we are doing some kind of deity worship or arti or something, doing kirtan, that time also our mind is absorbed into spiritual energy. If we are reading books like this, we are hearing classes like this, that time also our consciousness is absorbed in spiritual energy. Sadhu Sangha. There are 5 things which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, which are very, very potent to very fast way awaken our Krishna consciousness. That is, one is Krishna's name, chanting, then Krishna's form, that is worshipping the deity or pictures of the Lord. Then Krishna's pastimes, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gita, where Krishna's instructions are there or Krishna's pastimes are there. Then devotees of Krishna, if you associate with the devotees of Krishna, just like while reading, we are associating with Prabhupada, what Prabhupada has told, that we are hearing in the form of reading. And even other sadhus, if we associate with the sadhus, that is also very potent to revive our Krishna consciousness. And the holy places, if you live in a holy place, just like Mathura or Vrindavan, or you make your house into a holy place by bringing Krishna into your house. So these 5 things which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described as very, very potent to revive our Krishna consciousness. So to always remember Krishna, we should be in touch with one of these things always, either chanting or deity related things, or reading, or associating with devotees. And if we make our house as a holy place, then always we are living there. So that way, our consciousness can be absorbed into Krishna consciousness. Then naturally, at the time of death, we will think of Krishna, and immediately we will go back to the spiritual world. And Krishna is assuring that it is guaranteed, there is no doubt about it. So therefore Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha mayi arpita mano buddhir mam evaishyasi asamshayah. So if your mind and intelligence is fully invested in me, then you will come to me without a doubt. So here again Krishna is telling, there is no doubt about it. Here also Krishna said, Yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. And here also Krishna is saying, Mayarpita manobuddhir mamai vaishyasya samshaya. So many places Krishna is giving a guarantee, assurance. And Krishna is not an incapable person. No, sometimes we give, I will do this, I will do that. But we may not be able to do. We may not be so powerful or capable to keep our promises. But Krishna is not a person like that. He is fully competent, all powerful. Whatever he says, he can do. And he is also not a cheater, that I will say something and I will not do. So we should have 100% conviction in the words of Krishna and follow his words. Then we will see gradually how we are feeling, whatever is told, and we'll also get reciprocations from Krishna. Krishna will start reciprocating with each devotee. To the level of his surrender, Krishna will reciprocate. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me, and at the same time, you should continue your prescribed duty and fight. With your mind and activities always fixed on me and everything engaged in me, you will attain to me without any doubt. He does not advise Arjuna to simply remember him and give up his occupation. No, the Lord never suggests anything impractical. In this material world, in order to maintain the body, one has to work. Human society is divided according to work into 4 divisions of social order: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The Brahmana class or intelligent class is working in one way. The Kshatriya or administrative class is working in another way. And the mercantile class and the laborers are all tending to their specific duties. In the human society, whether one is a laborer, merchant, warrior, administrator, or farmer, or even if one belongs to the highest class and is a literary man, a scientist, or a theologian, he has to work in order to maintain his existence. The Lord therefore tells Arjuna that he need not give up his occupation, but while he is engaged in his occupation, he should remember Krishna. If he doesn't practice remembering Krishna while he is struggling for existence, then it will not be possible for him to remember Krishna at the time of death. Lord Chaitanya also advises this. He says that one should practice remembering the Lord by chanting the names of the Lord always. The names of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. So, Lord Krishna's instruction to Arjuna to remember me and Lord Chaitanya's injunction to always chant the names of Lord Krishna are the same instruction. There is no difference because Krishna and Krishna's name are non-different. In the absolute status, there is no difference between reference and referent. Therefore, we have to practice remembering the Lord always, 24 hours a day, by chanting his names and molding our life's activities in such a way that we can remember him always. So this is the instruction given by Krishna to Arjuna that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mamanusmara Yuddhacha. So you perform your duty, you are a warrior, you are a Kshatriya, you have to fight. So you do your duty of fighting, but while doing your duty, you should always remember me. And if you live your life in such a way, then ultimately at the time of death, you can remember me and you will reach me. And for this, there is no doubt. And here Prabhupada is telling that if we don't practice remembering Krishna while we are struggling in this material world, then it is not possible to remember Krishna at the time of death. And the easiest way given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to always chant the names of Krishna, specifically the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this constant chanting of holy names of Krishna in the form of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so that will purify our heart, purify our consciousness, and awaken our original Krishna consciousness. Then the practicing devotee, the practitioner, progresses gradually from sadhana bhakti up to the stage of loving devotional service or prema bhakti. And then it becomes natural for him to think of Krishna when there is love, when there is a relationship. So initially it is a practice. One has to make a practice of thinking of Krishna by following certain rules and regulations, every day getting up early, chanting fixed number of rounds, eating only prasadam, doing arti, like that, and reading scriptures. So he has to dedicate some time of his day for these spiritual activities, core spiritual activities, and rest time while engaged in our worldly duties also. We should try to remember Krishna. So for that, in the 10th chapter, Krishna has given so many ways how we can think of him in the material world. Just like Rasoham Apsu Kaunteya, when we are drinking water, we can think that this taste is Krishna. So like that, so many things Krishna has described. So that way we can always try to be Krishna conscious throughout the day, remember Krishna, and do our prescribed whatever duties are there for maintaining our body, and do our sadhana, whatever number of hours is given by Srila Prabhupada for us to practice. And then automatically our consciousness will become more and more clearer, and the remembrance of Krishna will go on increasing. So initially out of 24 hours, maybe I will think of Krishna all put together, here 1 minute, here 30 seconds, here 2 minutes, all put together. I may be thinking of Krishna, say 1 hour in a day. So that quantity of thinking of Krishna can go on increasing, and also the quality also can go on increasing. We have got this one lifetime. We can try to practice this, and whatever shortcomings are there, that Prabhupada will fill and take us back to the spiritual world when we leave this body. So of that there is no doubt, 100% guaranteed. How is this possible? The Acharyas give the following example. If a married woman is attached to another man, or if a man has an attachment for a woman other than his wife, then the attachment is to be considered very strong. One with such an attachment is always thinking of the loved one. The wife who is thinking of her lover is always thinking of meeting him, even while she is carrying out her household chores. In fact, she carries out her household work even more carefully, so her husband will not suspect her attachment. Similarly, we should always remember the Supreme Lover, Sri Krishna, and at the same time perform our material duties very nicely. A strong sense of love is required here. If we have a strong sense of love for the Supreme Lord, then we can discharge our duty and at the same time remember Him. But we have to develop that sense of love. Arjuna, for instance, was always thinking of Krishna. He was the constant companion of Krishna, and at the same time, he was a warrior. Krishna did not advise him to give up fighting and go to the forest to meditate. Lord Krishna delineates the yoga system to Arjuna. Arjuna says that the practice of this system is not possible for him. Arjuna Vacha, Yoyam Yogas Tvaya Proktaha, Samyena Madhusudana, Etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim sthiram. So when Krishna describes Arjuna, this meditation, system of meditation or dhyana yoga, Arjuna says, oh, this is not possible for me, going to forest sitting and meditating. This is not possible for him because mind is very flickering. So it's always wandering here and there. Arjuna said, oh Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. But the Lord says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, who is the highest yogi? Not somebody who is gone to forest and sitting and meditating. So one who is always engaged in his loving service. Shraddhavan bhajate. So Prabhupada explains when we go to this chapter, this shloka, the word bhajate is very important in this shloka, where this bhaja word comes from service, rendering of service. So one who renders service to Krishna, he is the topmost yogi that Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter while describing the Dhyana Yoga. So one who thinks of the Supreme Lord always is the greatest yogi, the supermost jnani, and the greatest devotee at the same time. So a devotee is the topmost yogi, greatest yogi, and supermost jnani, and the greatest devotee at the same time. So he gets the result of dhyana, jnana, and bhakti, all three he gets the result. The Lord further tells Arjuna that as a Kshatriya, he cannot give up his fighting. But if Arjuna fights, remembering Krishna, then he will be able to remember him at the time of death. But one must be completely surrendered in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So the basis of always thinking Krishna is love. If we have love for Krishna, then we can always think of Krishna. And the whole process of Bhakti Yoga is to come to that stage of loving Krishna. Only then we can always remember Krishna, otherwise it is not possible. And the sadhana bhakti process is for reviving our original love for Krishna. Okay, so we'll stop here today. So we have covered till here. Yoginam api sarvesham. This is completed. If there are any questions, we can discuss. Otherwise, we will do a revision what we have read today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
It was nice class. Nice
Hare Krishna.
class.
Jai Shila Prabhu.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So
Hare
what
Krishna,
we
Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So what we understood today, can somebody give some points? How one can go back to the spiritual world? What is the formula of success?
We follow the Krishna's, like we always used to remember Krishna by chanting with Hare Krishna one Maha Mantra, and we used to start beginning having the Krishna's prasadam, doing the arati during the Kartik, Damodar Arati, Kartik month, and every time if we can do it, we can offer the puja to Krishna. And we follow
Yes.
the slowly, we started, slowly we can completely, we can get the Krishna conscious path.
Yes. And the main thing is at the time of death, one has to remember Krishna. And that is possible only if we have practiced it throughout our life. Then only we can remember Krishna at the time of death. Okay. What else is there? Okay, how we should accept what is given in the Bhagavad Gita? How Arjuna accepted? How we should accept whatever is told in the Bhagavad Gita?
By fully surrendering at
Hare
Lord
Krishna,
Sri Krishna's lotus feet.
Yes, but specifically something was told. How Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita?
Following the footsteps of Arjuna.
Ha. So,
Because Krishna repeatedly, the Bhagavad Gita has told that whatever we desire and we think of at the time of death, that will be done, sanctioned. So, if we think that at the time of death we'll think of Krishna, it is not possible. So, with the path we follow in our life is what decides our next life in the time of death.
yes. But what did Arjuna say
So we
after listening to Krishna Bhagavad Gita? Ha. Yes.
One should probably accept Bhagavad Gita as it is,
Yes.
wholly, not partially, or
Yes.
not something we don't like, but
Ha.
everything as it is.
Completely. Yes. Yes. Completely.
and
Arjuna's. Yes. Yes, Mataji, you are saying something. So Arjuna says after listening, not even at the end, he says in the middle only, after 10th chapter. And this is not after seeing the Vishwarupa. Arjuna requests Krishna, you please show me your Vishwarupa. And Arjuna did not tell that, no, I believe everything, whatever you have said, Parabrahma, Parandhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. He did not tell after seeing the universal form. He had full faith in Krishna's words even before seeing the universal form. Before that only he says, Sarvam etad ritam manye, Yanmam vadasi Keshava. Whatever you have told me, everything I accept to be truth. You are the supreme Brahman, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. And after saying that, he requests that can you show me your universal form? Then Krishna shows him the universal form. Not that earlier Arjuna was not convinced or doubtful, and then he asked, okay, you have told all these things, now you show me, then I will believe. No, before only he has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God, no doubt, and full faith in the words of Krishna. And he requests, you kindly show me your universal form. Prabhupada writes there that Arjuna did not wanted to see that universal form. He asked him to show that in future, because Krishna has told so many things and Arjuna has accepted, so many imposters will come and they will also start their own Gita. I am this, I am that. Nobody has done, nobody has that courage. So far, nobody has told, no, I am the Supreme, everything is running from me. Anywhere you see, any literature, any book you open, nobody has told that I am the Supreme Lord, I am the cause of everything is running by me only, except Krishna, nobody has told. So, even to prevent such things also, Arjuna tells Krishna that you please show, so that even in future, if somebody starts claiming that I am the Supreme Lord, then people can question him that you show your universal form to verify whether you are God or not. So Arjuna, even before asking Krishna to show his universal form, he had full conviction, full faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he says, I accept everything what you have told as truth. So that is the way to understand Bhagavad Gita. Everything what is told by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, no doubt, I may not be able to understand now, but I should accept it as this is reality, this is the truth. It is for me to realize these things. Okay. Okay, how we can transfer our consciousness into spiritual energy? There is two energies, one is material energy, one is spiritual energy. And most of the time we are absorbed in material energy only. How we are absorbed in material energy and how that can be transferred to spiritual energy. So we discuss this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. By chanting
Yes.
the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra attentively,
Yes.
by engaging our time and energy in reading the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam,
Yes.
doing devotional service of the Lord,
Yes.
and also even if you are engaged in our material activities, to keep the conscious always to keep our conscious always on Krishna, by remembering Krishna all the time, even if it is not possible all the time, at least every now and then to remember Krishna, so that our conscious is always in Krishna's consciousness, and in this way we can be. In this way, we can get rid of.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll be in
we
touch
can
with
go
spiritual energy.
spiritual energy, and we can avoid material energy.
Yes. At the same time, we should also avoid mundane newspapers, mundane novels, or mundane watching any videos or so. Because we have got only two options. Either we can be with Krishna or we can be away from Krishna. There is no third thing. So if I'm not with Krishna, I am with material energy. If I am with Krishna, then I am not in the material energy. So the more we are with Krishna, the more we become spiritualized. So we should spend more time reading books, chanting, and doing spiritual activities apart from our whatever worldly duties are there. So that we have to do. Wherever we should not waste our time in unnecessary things, unnecessary talking, unnecessary gossiping, unnecessary watching something, reading something. That we should try to avoid.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Prabhuji, you are right. Once I started Krishna conscious, I don't love any materiality like this world, like gold, saris, makeup, kids,
Very good.
all those things. Whatever, I don't like it. I don't have interest in anything on that one.
Good. Okay. So why Krishna created all these Vedic literatures? That also the why Krishna has made all the
Krishna Prabhuji.
yes.
Usually we
Yes, sir.
forget our relationship with Krishna, but because we are conditioned souls, so to revive that forgotten consciousness, So the Supreme Lord gave us all these scriptures.
Yeah. And one more thing is, on our own, it is not possible to know who is God or revive our Krishna consciousness. Without the help of scriptures, it is not possible at all. You just imagine, suppose there is no Bhagavad Gita. Suppose there was no Bhagavad Gita. Then how people will know who is God? Who are we? What is spiritual world? Not possible, no? So to revive our consciousness and to know God, who is God, who we are, Krishna has created all these Vedic literatures. This is the only escape route from this material world. If you have to escape and go out, means through the scriptures, through this chanting, through worship of Krishna. These are the escape routes to escape from this material world. So out of compassion, Krishna has created all this Vedic literature.
But also association with the devotees, we will be able to understand the scriptures better in a better way, Prabhu.
Yes. That is
Without
required.
association, it is not possible at all.
Yes, that is. Hare Krishna. Okay. So that is how the bhakti progresses. Initially, we start with some faith in Krishna consciousness. Then that grows into a second stage of devotee association. And third stage of starting chanting and performing some kind of service, either at our home or coming to temple and starting chanting and reading all those things. That is the third stage. Then fourth stage is all unwanted things will go away. All we have learned in this material world, so many unwanted things, all those things will start going away one by one. Then a devotee becomes firmly fixed. That is called stage of nishtha. And from that stage, it becomes a very, very blissful life. Then ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. So that way the bhakti progresses and the devotee attains the highest stage of loving Krishna. So devotee association is very important, and it is a very potent way of progressing in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu, I have a small doubt. See, without attending Bhagavatam class, if I read Bhagavatam and whatever is written in the Bhagavatam, if I try to understand, is it okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, it is okay. But if you have got time, then you attend the classes also. Because see, the classes in the temple, all the senior devotees give classes, just like our temple president, vice presidents, they give the classes. And they have read these books many, many times. And also they have been practicing Krishna consciousness from many years. They have chanted for 30, 40 years. They have been chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra dedicatedly. Whole life they have dedicated for Krishna service. And they have many practical realizations of reading these books and how they have applied in their lives. So it is just like I go to college and I sit in a professor's class. I sit there for 40 minutes, one session will be there. He comes and explains me what is E is equal to mc square or any some chemistry related or physics related. So when he is speaking, then he is not that 40 minutes talk. It is his 20, 30 years of experience is coming out in that 40 minutes talk. So reading is very important. We should read. There directly Prabhupada is telling us when we are reading directly where we are associating with Prabhupada. But if somebody who has practiced devotional service dedicatedly for many years, when they are giving the classes and we hear, we make a very big leap we take, big jump we take. I may have to, because I have to chant for so many years and do so much of service to realize what is given in the books. That I may directly get by sitting in 1 5-minute session. In the total 40 minutes, some things which will strike me on my own. For me to understand that may take years also. So attending senior devotees classes always helps. There is no substitute for reading Prabhupada's books. We have to read more and more. But attending classes of senior Vaishnavas also has got its own advantages.
Okay.
And this system was made by Prabhupada himself. Prabhupada himself made a system of everyday Bhagavatam class. Although he has written the books, but he made a system that every day there should be Bhagavatam class. and he encouraged his disciple also to give Bhagavatam class.
Prabhuji, online Bhagavatam classes is not available, no?
It is there in our Sadhu Sangha channel, ISKCON Bangalore. So there it is there. Now we are planning to share every day one such class. It will start in coming days in all our
I am
groups.
also,
Yeah.
I am also
Every,
reading speed.
ah,
First continent completed yesterday, second continent I started.
very good. So we are going to start
So,
sharing. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, if there are online classes, definitely I'll attend.
Yeah, we will share that recorded videos live. If you want to attend every day 8:45, you can go to our ISKCON Bangalore Sangha channel, YouTube channel, and there every day 8:45 onwards class will be there up to 9:30. So 2 days Prabhupada's class will be there. 4 days other senior devotees will take, and there are many senior devotees who have gone from Bangalore, open centers in different places. So some 10-12 devotees sessions we are planning to share every day one class what they have been taking classes. So you will get association of all those devotees who are more seniors, many years they have been practicing, more realizations. You can take out some time and listen to those classes.
It is very helpful, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I'm working, I'm doing that one only. I'm listening the classes, I'm
Yes.
doing night.
Yes, we should
Listening
utilize time
class,
like that only. Whatever we are doing, something should be going on. Some listening should be going on.
listening the classes, I'm working.
Yeah,
From
that is the
home,
best
alone.
way. Yes.
Yeah. That is only I'm doing.
Yes. Okay. It's almost getting 10 o'clock now. Thank you all for joining. Again, we will connect probably next Friday. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.